Hello, this is 1812 today. I'm Natalia Zuñiga, and I'm going to be discussing what caused the War of 1812. The War of 1812 was caused by three different things: an embargo, a blockade, and imprisonment. The blockade was by Great Britain trying to block Napoleon's Europe. What they did was prevent a certain amount of ships. Britain ended up blocking 1,000 of American ships and seized half the number. The imprisonment was where Britain would almost take over the ships of America and make the American Navy men come to the British side. The embargo was where the Jefferson convinced the Constitution to not allow America to trade with other places. All it ended up doing was hurting America.
Hello, I'm Clarissa Ellazar, and I would like to add what Natalia said. Another source of trouble appeared in 1809 when General William Henry Wilson, the governor of the Indiana Territory, invited several Native American chiefs to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and persuaded them to sign away 3 million acres of tribal land to the U.S. government. Not all chiefs gave in. Like Little Turtle and chiefs from other tribes, the Shawnee chief, Tecumseh, believed that the only way for Native Americans to protect their homeland against intruding white settlers was to form a confederacy, a united Native American nation. When it was discovered that the Native American Confederacy was used arms from British Canada, a group of young congressmen from the South and the West, known as the War Hawks, called for war against Britain. Led by Senator John C. Calhoun of South Carolina and Henry Clay of Kentucky, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the War Hawks relied behind their motto, "Ode to Canada."
Hello, my name is Gabby Aguilar. One long-lasting effect of the War of 1812 was that America grew self-sufficiently.
Hello, this is Natalia Zuñiga again. I will be talking about how the war brought mixed results. The war in Canada. Detroit was captured by the British shortly after it was declared, and Americans suffered numerous setbacks, including the failed attempt to take Montreal. Different Native American groups allied with the British or U.S. forces, depending on relationships they developed in the war. The Shawnee leader was killed in the Battle of Thames in 1813. Now, the war at sea. The war was an opportunity for relatively young Navy to test its abilities. In November of 1812, the British government ordered a blockade on the Chesapeake and Delaware Bays. As the war progressed, the U.S. freight scored more victories against the British ships. The blockade extended along the East Coast. By the end of 1813, most of American ships were bottled up in the port.
Hi, this is Clarissa again. By 1814, the British were raiding and burning towns all along the Atlantic coast. The Redcoats brushed aside some hastily assembled American troops and entered Washington, D.C. in retaliation for the U.S. victory of the Battle of York, the capital of Upper Canada, in which U.S. forces burned the governor's mansion and the legislative assembly buildings. The British burned the Capitol, the White House, and other public buildings. Andrew Jackson was winning a series of battles that gained him national fame. After a 6-month campaign involving 4 battles, Jackson defeated Native Americans of the Creek tribe at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend in March of 1814. On January 8, 1815, Jackson's troops defeated a superior British force at the Battle of New Orleans. Hundreds of British troops died, while just a handful of Americans lost their lives. Unknown to Jackson, British-American diplomats had already signed a peace agreement. The Treaty of Ghent, signed on Christmas Eve, 1814, declared an armistice, or end to the fighting. Although it did not address the issues, or imprisonment, or neutral shipping rights, Americans were eager for peace and welcomed the treaty. Tippecanoe, November 7, 1811. With British support, Native Americans try to stop U.S. westward expansion, and Harrison defeats them.
Starting.
I don't like you! Oh, no!
Go. Ready? Go.
Put in Bay, September 10, 1813. U.S. naval forces under Oliver Hazard Perry gained control of Lake Erie. Washington, D.C., August 24th to 25th, 1814. British burned Capitol, White House, and other important buildings. Put in Bay, September 10th, 1813. U.S. naval forces under Oliver Hazard Perry gained control of Lake Erie. Names October 5th, 1813. Death of Tecumseh leads to the collapse of Native American support for British. Lake Champlain, September 11, 1814. U.S. gains control of Lake and British retreat to Canada. Baltimore, September 12 to 14, 1814. British failed to capture a city and withdraw from Chesapeake Bay in October. New Orleans, January 8, 1815. After defeating Native Americans in Mississippi Territory, Andrew Jackson moves to defend the city. Battle was fought 2 weeks after a peace treaty was signed at Ghent, December 24, 1814.
That's all for 1812 today. The whole point of this newscast was to show that war broke out again between the United States and Britain in 1812. Thank you. Watch again.